All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here at the Los Angeles Public Library getting ready for the presentation this afternoon at the Mark Tapper Auditorium. Just want to get a little impression here from Mr. Arthur Martinez. Thank you, brother, for accepting this challenging invitation, right, to come and perform at the Los Angeles Public Library Central Library. So, what is your take on this?
Well, so far, so good. It's multicultural. And, for someone like me, I'm always interested to come and represent for my culture. So we're going to see how it goes. I mean, it's always new. I'm interested to learn about new cultures. So that's where we are right now.
Right.
And to show our culture, That's where I'm at right now.
That's what I wanted to say, that you have probably one of the few drummers and singers and someone who knows the culture, coming from Belize, from Griga, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So appreciate you, man, for representing and being here. And then we have the young talent, man, Marquise Ramos. Yes, multi-talented drummer, keyboardist, bass player, you name it, he got it. And he came out of the ranks of the young Garifuna Americans born here in Los Angeles. So it's not easy to find them, because very few really turn to the culture. The majority just become regular Americans and they disattach. But Marquise and a few other kids, man, I'm just not surprised, but it's like a sense of pride, right, to have kids like you, man, to turn to the culture and make it better, and don't let it die in Los Angeles, right? There's a strong Garifuna community here.
That's it.
Thank you so much for coming today to celebrate Songs of the Earth. Bienvenidos, yo soy Yvette. Gracias por venir al programa Canciones de la Tierra. Before we get started, I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement. We gather today on the ancestral lands of the Tongva people, who have stewarded this land for generations. We recognize their enduring connection to this territory and honor their history, culture, and contributions. As we celebrate together, let us commit to respecting Indigenous voices and advocating for their rights and recognition. May our gathering be a step toward healing and unity. Okay, so we're so excited to have you here as we celebrate the vibrant Indigenous communities whose traditions, creativity, and resilience help make Los Angeles the extraordinary city it is. We are truly fortunate to live in a place as rich and diverse as LA, a city where we can enjoy regional cuisines from around the world, shop at grocery stores that reflect different cultures, and hear a beautiful mix of languages and music in our neighborhoods every day. Today we'll experience just a small glimpse of that incredible diversity through our wonderful presenters and performers. First, we will welcome the Garifuna American Heritage Foundation United, whose mission is to empower and educate communities about the rich history and values of Garifuna culture, preserving and sharing it to inspire and reconnect future generations. Nos entusiasma de tenerlos aquí para celebrar las vibrantes comunidades indígenas cuyas tradiciones, creatividad y resiliencia hacen de Los Ángeles la ciudad extraordinaria que es. Somos muy afortunados de vivir en un lugar tan diverso como Los Ángeles, una ciudad donde podemos disfrutar de la gastronomía regional de todo el mundo, comprar en supermercados que reflejan diferentes culturas y escuchar una hermosa mezcla de idiomas en música todos los días. Hoy experimentaremos solo una pequeña muestra de esa increíble diversidad a través de nuestros presentadores. Primero daremos la bienvenida a la Fundación Unida del Patrimonio Garifuna Americano, cuya misión es empoderar y educar a las comunidades sobre la rica historia y los valores de la cultura garífuna, preservándola y compartiéndola para inspirar y reconectar a las futuras generaciones.
My name is Cheryl Morales, and I'm the founder and president of Garifuna American Heritage Foundation, GAFU. So today I'm just going to give you a brief history about Garifuna, our homeland and indigenous heritage. Yurime St. Vincent is the name of the Kalinagu Garifuna people's homeland in our native language. St. Vincent has been inhabited for some 7,000 years by the Siboneyes, Lokono, and Kalina Kara. The Kalina would often form unions with the Lacona tribe, who later inhabited the neighboring Dominica. Yurume is in the Lesser Antilles. The Lesser Antilles are a group of about 24 small island states within the Caribbean Sea and Atlantic Ocean. The Kalinaku or Carib territory stretched over 500 miles from Grenada, Tobago, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Dominica, Martinique, Guadeloupe, Antigua, and St. Christopher. Trinidad and Barbados were Arawak territories. Our African roots. The Timbuktu manuscripts and the Mali historians, or oral historians, tell the story of Prince Abubakar II, who abdicated his throne in 1311 to explore the Atlantic Ocean. Mansa Musa inherited the throne of the Mali Empire. There are two currents that originate off the coast of Africa and flow west to the Americas. The Mandinka people of the Mali Empire made voyages to America in 1310 and 1311. The first expedition left with 200 ships of men and 200 ships with material. The second expedition left with 1,000 ships of men and 1,000 ships of supplies. The Malian African admixture with the Amerindians gave birth to us, the Garifuna people. The occupation, treaties, and wars. The European began to arrive in Yurume and other islands in 1498. The British, then called the planters in the Caribbean, arrived first, followed by the French, who later established settlements in Yurume and started to displace the Kalinaku. According to archives, the British intentionally went from calling the Caribs of St. Vincent to referring to them as Black Caribs around the 1760s. At a council meeting dated May 10, 1769, the attendees discussed drafting a militia bill against the Black Caribs. In Julia Chung Kim's writing, The Caribs of St. Vincent and the Indigenous Resistance during the Age of Revolution. In particular, the British turned in the late 18th century to a strategy of renaming the Caribs of St. Vincent the Black Caribs and attributing primarily African origin. This way, we could not claim indigenous land rights by calling us Black or referring to us as escaped slaves. We did not have indigenous land rights. Keep that in mind. The planters claimed the occupied territories and survived and surveyed the lands only to allocate the more fertile areas to themselves. The increased presence of the Europeans and their illegal land grabbing would lead to 150 years of battles and 2 major wars with Kalinaku. The many treaties signed were violated by the British, including the Peace Treaty of March 31st, 1660, at the Chateau in Basse-Terre, between 15 Carib captains, the French and English, recognized Caribs' right to Dominica and St. Vincent. The Anglo-Carib Peace Treaty of 1773 was also violated, which resulted in war, the First Carib War from 1772 to 1773, and the Second Carib Wars from 1795 to 1797. Garifuna Genocide and Exile. This is the timeline based on Garifuna Professor Salvador Suazo. Between October 1796 and March 1797, an estimated 4,338 to 5,200 Black Caribs, Garinagu, were captured and imprisoned on a barren island known as Belizeau. The exact number of captured, tortured, and imprisoned Garinagu varies according to different sources. The Garifuna people were charged with treason against the British Crown for fighting for our homeland. And of course, we know the sentence for treason is usually death. So their intention was basically to eradicate the Garifuna population. According to records, around 2,400 Black Caribs died of rare disease, including yellow fever on Belizeau. Garifuna oral historians narrate that the Garifuna people were poisoned with arsenic in Belizeau and on board the transport ship. The British had no intention of the exiled Garifuna people to arrive to their destination alive. Also, according to ancient prophecy, Belizeau was known to be a place of death. That's why it was never inhabited, and to this day is still not inhabited. The surviving Garifuna people were transferred from Belizeau to Bekwa, imprisoned and embarked into a convoy of 11 vessels. They left Bekwa on Saturday, March 11, 1797. The Garifuna people arrived on April 12, 1797 to the Port Royal in Roatan, the English colony. However, the Garifuna people were granted entry by the Spaniards into the mainland Trujillo, Spanish Honduras, on May 17, 1797, upon the condition of being baptized and given Spanish surnames. Our Central American presence. Again, Garifuna people arrived in Honduras in 1797, and they currently have an estimated population of 45 to 48 communities throughout Honduras, with an estimated 100,000 population. They arrived in Nicaragua in 1865 and have 8 Garifuna community with an estimated population of 8,000 people. In St. Vincent, they have 7 Garifuna territories. The population, we can't not estimate it because they've only recently started to identify themselves as Garifuna. So in St. Vincent, they lost the language, they lost the culture, they lost everything, and including their identity. So it's only now, within the last 10 years, that they started to identify and reclaim their Garifuna identity in St. Vincent. In Belize, they arrived. The first documented appearance of Garifuna people in Belize is in 1799. They have 6 primary Garifuna communities, an estimated population of 14,000 to 15,000. In Guatemala, they arrived in 1802, and they have 2 Garifuna community with the population of 21,000 according to recent census. The Garifuna history in the United States. The picture that you see over there is when Garifuna people participated in the opening ceremony of the 1984 Olympics, and we hope to do it again when the Olympics return. The first migration of the Garifuna people in the United States has been documented since the early 1950s. According to history, many Garifuna people from throughout Central American countries worked in the then United Fruit Company in Guatemala. These well-paid laborers would later migrate to New Orleans, Chicago, New York, Miami, Houston, and Los Angeles. The second wave of migration was during World War II, with the recruiting of contracted laborers from Central America, including Garifuna men who harvest crops. Many laborers seized the opportunity to remain in the United States and later sought ways to bring their family and friends to join them. The population of Garifuna people living throughout California is estimated around 100,000, with the largest community in Los Angeles. Also, being the second largest community here is in Los Angeles, with the first most Garifuna community is in New York. They have the largest population of diverse Garifuna people from Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. Identity, visibility, and representation. The most important things that have been lacking within the Garifuna community in Los Angeles are identity, visibility, and representation. We are put in a generic box of being labeled Black or Afro-Latino rather than being seen or addressed by our authentic indigenous Garifuna identity. When it comes to visibility, regardless of it to participate in African American, Latino, Central America, include Belize, the Caribbean, and events, we are usually an afterthought for inclusion. We are seen and often treated merely as the others, with some of these communities not being too welcoming towards the Garifuna people at all. The Garifuna people only have themselves to advocate and to represent our indigenous identity, language, and heritage. Once we fail to be the voice for our culture and history, then it is misrepresented by individuals who do not care or get to know about us people. Rather than complain, our solution is to create our own spaces, activities, and events, including requesting Los Angeles Council to recognize Garifuna Heritage Month in 2014. You see the certificate there. Garifuna Dwo is our identity and our way of life. While identifying as Afro-Latino, Latina, Afro-descendants, or Afro-American is fine here in the United States. However, Garifuna people referring to themselves other than Garifuna in our motherland, in our homeland, is basically takes away our indigenous land rights. So here, we could call ourselves all of these other names, but in our homelands, in Honduras, in St. Vincent, and Belize, if we do not identify as Garifuna and claim our indigenous land rights, we don't have ownership and stake in our lands. Language preservation. Garifuna is an Arawak-based language. It is basically a VSOP language with the verb, subject, and object. UNESCO declared Garifuna a critically endangered on May 18, 2001. The United Nations of Education and Science and Culture Organization proclaimed Garifuna an endangered language and culture. In 2005, Garifuna American Heritage Foundation United opened the Garifuna Language and Culture Academy at various locations. Unfortunately, due to lack of funding, the school closed in 2011. Although we have continued to have virtual presence on our Garifuna Gafu channel and other social media platforms. The Garifuna Language Workbook is one of the things that we do to preserve the culture. We have that book available online, and everything goes back into the organization to continue to do events like this. Our culture, presentation, and preservation. Garifuna Dance Ensemble consists of Gaisa, a singer, Primera, Segunda drummer, Sisira, a shaka, sometimes a turtle shell, or wadabuke, player. There are 11 Garifuna dance genres, but these are the most well-known. Hugu Hugu is a social dance that is done to acknowledge the ancestors. In a spiritual center, this dance is done in a temple with the participant going in circle, counterclockwise and otherwise. Paranda is a dance that is popular social dance. Shumpa is a dance, a solo performed by women that demonstrate the different chores that women do. Punta is also known as Bangidi. It is a Garifuna people's funeral dance. It symbolizes family unity, not only among the living, but also among those who live in the spiritual world. Punta is danced during wakes and in other ceremonies having to do with passing of someone. It's a rhythm, it's engaging, and it can be danced in couples, but now again, we dance this dance socially in the clubs, at parties and everything. Manara is known as a war dance of the Garifuna people.
Now with punta, Cheryl is gonna go invite some of you to come down and dance a little bit of punta. The way you would do it if you were to go to Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, or Nicaragua along the Caribbean coast.
We have to believe in
favor. If you go to the Gafu channel, it will be spelled G-A-H-F-U, Garifuna, Gafu Garifuna. Please join the membership. That will really help us to get the numbers and to be able to propagate more of the Garifuna culture worldwide. Thank you.